Hello everyone, I'm Eric Watts, Director of Extended Stay here at RREAF Holdings. Welcome to this week's session of RREAF Academy, where we'll be covering our extended stay platform. I'll be sharing our approach on the acquisition, development, and management of our extended stay properties, and why this asset class offers a unique opportunity for both operators and investors. Let's get started. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Eric Watts. I run the extended stay platform here at RREAF Holdings. I joined in May of 2016, so I just hit my 9th year. I started with one-off projects, townhomes, apartments. Today we're going to talk about the extended stay platform here at RREAF. We've got 4 existing assets. I joined the team in December of 23 and took over the construction side of it. Now I'm sourcing the sites, getting them under contract, taking them through entitlements, managing the construction, and then hand over to the asset management team and MXR Hospitality to manage at the end of once we get CO. This is the Woodspring Suites Bluffdale that I finished last summer in Salt Lake City, Utah. We're going to talk about what constitutes extended stay. How does extended stay differ from the other sectors of hospitality that you may be more accustomed to? Anybody have any knowledge on that subject?
Stay over 7 days.
Stay over 7 days is what you're going for. Customer profile, who stays at extended stays?
Travel nurses.
Travel nurses, government workers, construction workers. With the big infrastructure bill that was passed a couple years ago, there's several we all know as we drive across country and infrastructure projects going on. I've got that a percent of stays at 7+ nights is optimal performance. It varies on the market. It varies on where your hotel is located. You want a 70-30 is optimal on extended stay versus transient. 60-40 some places, 50-50 some places. Transient is a good part of the business because you can drive rates for whatever's left after your extended stay rooms, and people tend to pay it. The labor model, less turns. If you're having people stay 7+ days, even up to several months, you go in once a week. So you don't have to have the cleaning staff and all the support that you would on a select service hotel. You're running 4 to 6 people daily here, where any other kind of hotel is typically 12+ on staff. So it really helps on your expense side as well. You've got in-suite kitchens, guest laundry, and fitness centers. Some of these will be found in other types of hotels, but this is a staple in most every extended stay hotel you'll stay in. Why extended stay? During COVID, where things got really hard for a lot of operators and all the food groups, extended stay actually saw a bump in performance like our multifamily did. They were averaging 60% occupancy, 16 points above all other hotel categories. And it also broadened the base of people that didn't know what extended stay was, and now they do because of this. One of the reasons is the flexibility and the longer stays, and the uncertainty surrounding travel restrictions and the shift to remote work led many people to opt for extended stays rather than committing to long-term leases or traditional short-term accommodations. You can run these, especially during COVID, like a short-term apartment lease. You'll see school buses pulling up. It's an apartment without having to go through the credit check and prove funds because you're just renting a hotel room. And the rates are going to be lower on those longer stays compared to the transient. Extended stay hotels offered the flexibility to extend stays as needed, which was particularly appealing during a time of fluctuating travel policies and health concerns. You had essential workers, your travel nurses. Extended stay hotels provided lodging for essential workers, including healthcare professionals and those on temporary assignments who needed a safe and convenient place to stay away from home. People displaced from their homes due to the pandemic for reasons such as needing to isolate or finding temporary housing during relocation also utilized extended stay. With these hotels having residential-like amenities with a full operating kitchen in the suite, a laundry room that not everybody has to use at the same time, but on site, as well as fitness, snacks, vending machines, everything was kind of there, and there was enough space to move around without coming in contact when we thought that was not something you wanted to do. Why extended stay now here at RREAF? Why are we going so bullish on extended stay? Cap rate spread. It's your stabilized NOI at year 4 or 5, whatever your stabilization year is, divided by your total construction cost in the deal when you receive CO and start to operate. If a deal does not have a 10% or above cap on cost usually does not pass our threshold. I've passed on more deals than I am going after right now because that spread's not there. The beauty of extended stay is that spread is 250 or more basis points. And if you're not achieving that, you're probably going to pass on the deal. Things that can drive that up are site cost being too much, construction going up. If you're building somewhere that requires steel or concrete block as opposed to stick frame, that can hurt that rate. And then performance. It's all about your performa and your construction costs going into it. It's programmatic, prototypical construction, so every box is the same. Some developers vary. Here at RREAF, we got 3 brands. All the boxes are very similar. We are not going to vary where we don't have to. Some jurisdictions require you to not have a 4th floor or to have a certain amenity that's not on a prototypical drawing. For the most part, we're going to try to build the same building over and over again with the same GCs, and that's really what makes, on the construction side, extended stay so attractive. Programmatic financing and capital, rinse and repeat again. We're going to try to set it up where we've got the same 2 or 3 lenders, same capital partners, and we're just going from one to the other. The goal is to be opening one and starting one every month. What we touched on earlier, the lean expense model with the labor being what it is. There's not food and beverage, there's no bars, there's no restaurants. So that expense model really helps push that spread on the basis we were talking about. This is the biggest reason. Because of what we touched on about COVID earlier, Hilton, Marriott, and Hyatt, who have not ever played in this middle economy extended stay space, all got with owners and developers and designed the Hilton Live Smart, the Marriott Studio Res, and the Hyatt Studios. When we go to roll this up to $1 billion plus and we go to exit, that exit cap's going to be lower and stronger because of these 3 names right here. In the past, it's been your Extended Stay of America, your Wood Springs, which is Choice, your Drury Inns, your Motel 6s. That was what was kind of considered extended stay. With the 3 big brands getting into the space, it changes the game. It makes it more competitive for sure because we're all chasing the same sites, but we've developed really strong relationships with all 3 brands. Hilton's playing in the upper mid-scale and Hyatt's upper mid-scale, upper scale kind of playing in there. So we have 3 different brands and 3 different products, which allows us, when we're going to find 50, 60 sites, a lot more creativity on what we do and back into, depending on the market. Hyatt gives us the opportunity to be the only Hyatt in the market because Hilton and Marriott have so many brands built out. The Hyatt guest, it's not as big of a reservation group, but they'll go to the Hyatt that's in the market. They're a very loyal clientele.
What does the franchise agreement look like with these companies?
We are doing development agreements, anywhere from 5 to 10. You'll sign a development agreement, you get your incentives. We've got really good incentives because of what I'm about to get to next. I'll share more on that. And then you sign a franchise agreement on each individual deal inside that development agreement. They're anywhere from $25,000 to $100,000 each deal, and that locks in for the most part, 5-mile area protection on your hotel for 20 years or so. They're pushing for franchise applications, I know that, and we don't even have the development agreements yet. So
for construction, what kind of methods and technology you guys using to further increase the speed of those builds?
we are talking to a stealth modular group out of North Carolina. They've spent the last 5 to 6 years working on an automated factory that will put a 2-bay, so in modular you get this room, hallway in between, comes to the site, wrapped, your art's hanging, your TV's in the room hooked up, all your MEPs are run, and it just has to be set in place. At full capacity, they can do 2 rooms every 45 minutes. And when both lines are fully optimal, they'll be able to do 2 2-room bays every 45 minutes, which is 2 hotels every week. And then that will be shipped and staged on site, and then it's set in 4 days, and then the exterior has to go on. So total build time comes traditionally 12 to 14 months from start of site work to opening, comes to 5 to 6 months. You're operating cash flowing that much quicker. You get to scale so much quicker. A lot of modular companies have failed in the past because of manual labor. The only manual labor on these is at the last 10% of the job. It's just finish outs, tying everything together. 41% of manual labor in the construction world will be gone by 2031 and will not be replaced because it's your older men and women that grew up and learned the trade, and they're going away, and none of the young generation is coming back in and going to trade school. If you think about that, 60% of the labor force left with nothing replacing it, you're gonna have to go a different direction. And that's what he's capitalizing on. What is MXR Hospitality? Y'all have seen the logo on every slide. The easy answer is it's McNeil times RREAF Holdings, with the X also being a play on extended stay. Why have we created MXR Hospitality? Similar to our multifamily vertical, several years ago, we grew frustrated with third-party management. We had different groups managing different properties, managing top line, not managing the way we wanted to here at RREAF. We went and bought a management company, stripped it, started ground up, and that's RR Living that y'all know downstairs now. Same thing in extended stay. The largest hotel manager in the country, they manage top line. They don't really focus on the extended stay portion. You've got to have that 60% or 70% on some markets, or it just doesn't work. We decided we were gonna go out and build our own extended stay management company like we did with RR Living. We knew we had to have a partner. We're multifamily here at RREAF. We've done several hotels. We're doing very well on hotels. But as far as the extended stay management being so different from anything we know, we knew we had to find a partner with experience. And that led us to the McNeil Group out of Memphis. Philip McNeil Sr. is the founder. I'm actually in Memphis office in their offices and come here once a month. So we're together every day building this out. He developed the second ever Hampton Inn and Suites in Little Rock, Arkansas. And in 2007, he sold 132 hotel REIT for $2.2 billion, and they've continued to build out more hotels and third-party management. Our goal is to build 50 plus of these, like I mentioned earlier, or reach $1 billion, whatever happens first, and build that tailored extended stay management company alongside it from ground up as well, and then exit all of it to some kind of public entity at the end of that 5 to 6 years, and grow third-party business at the same time. There's a lot of opportunity. A lot of people are feeling the same way we do. There's one other company that is tailored to strictly extended stay, so we hope to make a big impression in this space alongside the development. Yes.
So after the 5 to 6 years, the plan would be, to get private equity involved, whether it's REIT or real estate private equity company, would they buy your entire portfolio altogether, and that's why you'll have to be so careful about the properties you're acquiring?
Yes, because of this right here, it makes it even more attractive. We've seen ESAs exit to Blackstone. Extended stay as a whole has gotten a bad rap. It makes it that much harder when we're going into these markets and trying to get entitled with the city and planning commission to build an extended stay hotel, because what they think of is all the ones that Jerry's talked about the whole time. And before we learned about this, I was going in and trying to get some of those others approved, heard the same thing. When I learned of these two and started using just this part, no problem. I had sellers that wouldn't sell to me because I was trying to build a certain brand. Called back a month later with that brand, they're interested. Right now we've got 20 deals in the pipeline, 8 of them in various stages of LOI and PSA initial drafts. The goal is to have 15 to 20 sites under control by the end of the year, get all those started, and then come right behind it with 15 to 20 more. We got Dawn. She's in the extended stay department with me. She's the glue. Ned runs the state of Texas for us, which is a country in its own. That's the front of the new Hilton Live Smart, very modern. Does not look like your typical extended stay. Here's your Hyatt Studios, and then your Marriott Studio Res. First one is opening in a month down in Florida. Another thing that's made it difficult with a new brand is your assumptions on your construction cost, on what rates you can get. So over the last year, we've been building out the infrastructure, your checklist to make sure you don't miss something in any stage of the deal, LOI to PSA to entitlement to construction. We don't want to miss. So now I've got a full-blown checklist in Microsoft Planner. It'll be assigned to whoever's responsible for it, and it's got a date attached to it. And if that's not done, you're not moving to the next thing. We've got a pipeline that works the same way. If you find a market you like, it stays in tier 1. To go to tier 2, you have to have a site located. To go to tier 3, you have to have an LOI out and be working towards PSA. So building that technical infrastructure to keep up with all that. And then we've also, since coming up with the idea of doing this, confirmed all the construction costs. We're talking to the GC that built the first Live Smart. He's building the first, he built the first Hyatt Studios. It's actually open in Mobile, Alabama. So we've stayed there. Great, really good product. And then we've talked to the guy that's building the first Marriott. So we've confirmed construction cost. We're confident in our numbers, and now we just have to go find the sites, which is the fun part, and get them under control and get them entitled. Any follow-up questions?
What criteria and KPIs are you looking at when you're approaching site selection?
Well, physically, you want to be able to see it. The site, like off the interstate or whatever the main thoroughfare through there, you want to have sight off of whatever that thoroughfare is without having to take a bunch of turns. You want support like retail, food. It's great if you can get all those within walking distance, but definitely within half a mile to a mile of the hotel. Your metrics are your RevPAR, your ADR, everything that feeds that stabilized NOI, and then the other side is your construction cost. And they're doing this all the time. It's kind of calmed down a little bit.
How you guys having to update your underwriting models, and how often do they get updated?
Every week as we're working towards, because CoStar comes out with new data once a month. We learn something new. We're still working on the models. As we get these under contract, it'll work up to the day we close, with the couple weeks before we close. What kills your pro forma, other than land costs, is saturation. If there's a lot of new product opening, like Huntsville, Alabama, for example, we looked in there and there's a new hotel going up every 300 feet, and it just drives the rates way down. It's the hottest hotel market as far as people building them. We won't touch it.
Just review for those that may not know all the acronyms, the LOI, PSA.
Letter of intent, purchase and sale agreement. On layman's terms, ADR is your average daily rate. That's how much you're selling the room for. Your RevPAR is after all your expenses. On these, you can usually get that RevPAR up a lot closer to the ADR because of your expenses and labor. And like I said earlier, transient, the ADR just explodes. If you get that good mix, which is the key, which is what a lot of the management companies aren't focused on out there. And that's a lot of the model we're playing with, is how to show 70% extended stay, 30. Some markets with Hyatt, it's 45, 55. So it's just playing with that and getting that right and getting it to reflect right in the model is a big part of it. We're being very conservative. And if a deal still is a 10 or above cap rate, as conservative as we're being on our indexes as far as penetration in the market, we feel like everything above that, it doesn't, we're not sitting up here where we're gonna fail if we don't scale that quickly. But if you're down here, there's room for improvement, so.
Being conservative with your models is less risky, right? Just in general practice.
For sure. In the past, we've been a little more aggressive. And as far as scaling, and it ends up hitting, but it's not when you thought it would. Now we're backing down to 85% of index, where you're typically going to play in that 95 to 100 just by being the new hotel, what the market's doing. If it's all running at 84% occupancy, you're probably going to hit somewhere in there, and then we're dropping that down. Between that and all the fail safes on the procedures and all that, we're pretty comfortable moving forward on these deals if they're penciling. And it kills more deals than it get the green light on, but that's just the nature of it.
Being, kind of the first person per se in RREAF with a lot of things since we started, Do you have any advice for the interns on getting into things that you might not fully know?
Never think you know more than someone else. Just learn every day. I've had projects that failed, were tough. I tried to do it on my own out of pride and trying to show myself. And you just don't, I'm not sleeping for a year. And then when you tell somebody what's going on, it's like, we knew that was going on. We were letting you learn. Always be learning. Don't ever think that you know it all. I think that's the biggest thing. Because of what I've learned in the past, I know what to look for now. I had an apartment project north of Nashville that we spent 9 months getting the cost down. It was way too expensive to build the way it was drawn. So we value engineered for 9 months. Literally got my plans back. Finally got through some sticking points with the lovely civils and architects of the world. Got it into the city March 12th of 2020. The city shut down that week. I didn't get approved drawings back till September. By the time I got approved drawings back, my lumber had almost more than doubled. So we built one building, set. It was only going up. We fired out 8 more buildings in a little over 9 months. We just knocked it out. We couldn't wait anymore. Managing that process and that GC and keeping him happy, for the most part, it was a big learning experience for me. So just do as much as you can, learn as much as you can, because it'll pay off when you get to old as me and run a new department. Because everything I learned on townhomes, apartments, the office, I'm applying it all now. Thank you all. Thanks for coming. That wraps up our session on extended stay. I hope you have a clearer picture of the platform, why we believe in the segment, and how RREAF is committed to continuing our operational excellence in the space. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out direct. And for those joining online, be sure to check out our other episodes in the RREAF Academy series. Thank you all.